Hello, I'm from the Behaviour Outreach Support Service in Lincolnshire, and I would like to introduce you to the condensed version of our PDA training package. After viewing this, you may be interested in accessing our full package. We recognise that time management can be challenging, so this has been created to support staff and parents, as it can be accessed at any time around other commitments. This is by no means a replacement for the original training session, and I have provided the contact details at the end of this bite-sized session should you wish to arrange to access the full training package at a later date. Today I will be talking about pathological demand avoidance. Some people find the word pathological difficult and refer to pathological demand avoidance as extreme demand avoidance. For this session, I will refer to pathological demand avoidance as PDA. The aim of this session is to increase your understanding of PDA and how to support individuals. PDA is now recognised as a profile of ASD. Historically, PDA was first recognised in the 1980s by a lady called Elizabeth Newsom, who noted that although some children shared similar aspects of ASD, there were also notable differences. PDA has since been identified as a subgroup within the autism spectrum, the most notable characteristic of which is the avoidance of ordinary everyday demands, both spoken and non-spoken. Although recognised nationally, PDA is not currently acknowledged in Lincolnshire as a separate condition to ASD, however it is possible to obtain a diagnosis privately. Demand avoidance is a usual characteristic of most people. We all avoid doing things we don't want to do. However, PDA is extreme avoidance and an anxiety-driven need to be in control. It is not that the child won't do it, it is that they can't do it. As you can see from this image, there are certain behaviours that can be seen in a child with PDA. However, there are a number of feelings experienced by this child beneath the surface that we need to be mindful of. These can include feeling overwhelmed, confused and scared. They do not have the natural ability to respond to demands, however they do have many strengths and skills that can become your allies. Be sure to recognise these talents. Some of these include the ability to think outside of the box and to be kind and helpful. For children with PDA, everything is a demand, such as getting out of bed, brushing your teeth and walking to school. It is not limited to unpleasant activities or anxiety-provoking situations. Children with PDA do not only have difficulties with outside influences, but also with their internal expectations, and this is as challenging. The key characteristics for a child with PDA are explosive and variable behaviour. Not all children with PDA are disruptive, but the possibility is there. This can include the need to be in control, threatening language, poor emotional regulation and hypervigilance. Children with PDA can slip under the radar. Masking is a form of school refusal. They may be in school, however they are using all of their energy on pretending and are probably not learning anything. In addition to this, children with PDA often suffer with a poor sense of self and self-imposed expectations. They are ambivalent about success, and school reward and punishment systems do not work for these children. Children with PDA desire friendships but inadvertently sabotage them. These children appear sociable, but this is superficial. Circle of Friends is a really good way to create a peer support group for these children. If you would like more information on this, please contact the BOSS service. They may also engage in extensive involvement in fantasy or role play. Children with PDA use roleplay and fantasy as a form of escapism. When a demand is overwhelming, they may go into roleplay to avoid the demand. However, roleplay can also be used to support engagement, taking away the focus on the child. For example, talking about the toy, teddy, or even character they have become helps share in their imagination and can be used to your advantage. As you can see with these three cogs, we are able to support the child by firstly understanding the needs of the child. This is your first stage. Three main causes of challenging behaviour are anxiety, sensory differences and communication, but it is often a combination of all three. Secondly, recognising the role of the key adult. The key adult needs to understand the child with PDA's needs and work with the child to help them to feel safe and secure within the school setting. Finally, it is vital to develop strategies which integrate these. From gaining the understanding, you can then move on to using appropriate and individualised strategies to support the child. It is important that a child with PDA has their safe people, but a whole school approach is far more effective if everybody understands the child is fully supported. Understanding the PDA individual is more important than any strategy. If you force that understanding, they will notice. Understanding and recognising the needs of a child with PDA is really important. Having that understanding and knowledge of the child helps to build your relationship, which ultimately supports you in recognising the meltdowns or panic attacks of that child. This means that you can recognise their sensory needs, increases in anxiety and miscommunications. Language is very important and you need to be mindful of it. PDA-friendly language is declarative language. It is non-direct, largely descriptive and a way of sharing and relating. Examples are, I noticed that your friend would like to play with that after you finish. How about we have a go at that together? I'm wondering where your shoes are. Declarative language invites conversation rather than demanding it and can reduce the power imbalance in teacher-student relationships. Children with PDA respond better to a working together approach. They are ageless and don't see hierarchy, so respond well to being referred to as an equal. Say we. They cope better when they experience a form of shared learning. Rigid structure and routine can cause panic attacks and meltdowns for children with PDA, so it is useful to allow some flexibility within their day. Provide opportunities for them to decide on their own timetable. PDA children also work well with novelty and variety. Where possible, produce things in different ways or spaces. Use inspiration over instruction. For example, I'll race you to the door with shoes on. In addition to this, you can defer some non-negotiables with time, such as we can do math before or after lunch. You can also defer the requests onto other people such as health and safety or government. Children with PDA often have an amazing sense of humour, and this is a supportive strategy to use that enables us to build relationships with them. So something we all find a challenge is what to do once a child has reached dysregulation and gone into a panic attack or meltdown. So, reflecting back, understanding the PDA individual is more important than any strategy. We need to remember to recognise how that child is feeling regularly throughout the day and adjust our demands in line with their anxiety levels. Regular check-ins throughout the day will support this. These can be done visually or verbally and discreetly. Helpful strategies can also include to clear the area, remove any onlookers, provide a safe space for the child, to have one person available to support the child, for the person who caused the trigger to leave, provide quiet support and use open and relaxed body language, be child-led. This is not giving in to them, this is administering a vital nutrient. Thank you for your time today. Please remember this is a bite-sized training edition and more information can be found on our full PDA training session available through the BOSS service.